Let's taste it. This filter's legit, y'all. That's clean. That's real clean. This is the Q3 600 UV water filtration system by SimPure. I'm gonna walk you through the installation process and the setup process so there's no surprises. What comes in the box is the water filtration system itself, the necessary hoses to hook up the water filtration system. You have your outlet water hose, your inlet water hose, and your wastewater hose. The power supply, various gaskets and fittings for the different water systems that you might be trying to tie this into, and of course, the water spigot or faucet that you will mount on the top of your sink. There are different installation methods. Mine's going to be the under sink method, and there are some steps that I'm not going to have to do because my sink already has a hole for this faucet built into it. Now, tools that you need to get the job done: power drill, a wrench, drill bits, and a knife or some sort of tube cutter, whatever that tool is. I'm using a box blade knife. The first thing I'm gonna do is install the faucet on my sink. As you can see, I already have a button here that I'm going to remove, and that's where this faucet's gonna go. You're gonna need the top piece. There's 2 gaskets, and then there's a bottom locking nut as well. Let me crawl under there real quick. All right, get under here. Oh. Now we've got 2 gaskets. One's gonna go underneath the sink, and one's gonna go right here on top. We'll take this piece here. Does this rotate? Yes, it does. There we go. This is made of 304 stainless steel, so it's gonna be easy to clean and keep that bacteria down. So we'll take and slide that on. Then there'll be a top gasket. This has a little grippiness to it, so that might prevent this from sliding around like that other one was doing. See, that's gonna go here, just like that. And then of course, you can move it like that as needed once I get this installed. So you got the bottom, and that's gonna come up from, obviously, the bottom. Oh. We got that installed. You can just slide it out of the way like that. There, nice. I know this might be a little bit difficult to see because I'm working in a tight space. First thing you have to figure out is which is the cold side and hot side of your water, what's what. Now, I know that this is the hot side because it's going to my dishwasher, and the hose that's attached to it is labeled hot side. And so this is the cold side. So we're going to turn the valve off here to the cold side. Just like that. Now that that's off, I'm gonna open up my faucet to relieve the pressure that's on this hose. I grabbed a towel because I know that this hose has water in it, and so there will be water coming out once I loosen it. So you're gonna take your wrench, and we're gonna loosen it up. And like I said, a little bit of water, not much. Okay. Now, next question. Is this gonna fit? Yes, it does. So, before I put it on, this is the T-adapter fitting that your hose goes on. And what we'll do in a minute is the hose I just disconnected will connect top here, and your line going to the water filter is going to go on this side. So we'll screw this in and make sure there's a gasket. There is a gasket. I don't want to over tighten it, but I want it good and snug. I'm going to reconnect my water hose from the top. All right. Just checking to make sure there ain't no leaks before I get too far into this. And that's dry. All right, we're gonna turn it back off for the time being. I got this installed. Make sure that when you install this, not to over tighten it. The washer that's in there is soft and you can tear it up. The next thing to do is to install this on the drain here. And what this does is it will take the wastewater from the unit and run it into the drain where it needs to be. So, where do I want to do this at? Well, where can I fit my drill? Because I got to drill a hole. And we take this and we stick it on here like this. Okay. Now that I've made all the mods I need to my plumbing, it's time to start making the connections. I have these connectors here, C-clips that will connect into these. These are all push connectors, so the different size C-clips will be what's needed. You just push that all the way in, and once you get it pushed all the way in, you take your clip and clip on there, and now it's not going anywhere. So I can turn that back around and reinstall that where it's... There's this little adapter that goes on the end of the faucet, and you connect your outlet water into it. I can go ahead and connect my outlet water. You push it all the way in, pull back, and put one of the clips in like so. So that's good. This end is gonna go up on that valve with one of the little clips as well. You're not gonna get to see that just because of angles. Now this inlet water is going to work a little bit different. It basically has this little nipple there that I push this over, and then we'll tighten down using this nut. We want to cut these because we don't need a ton of slack. I'm going to put the unit in here to figure out how much space I have and how to cut these pieces here. So it's going to go over here. Right. Before we get too far, I do have to have enough slack so that I can pull the unit and turn it to the side, because on this side behind this door is where your filters are. Composite filter, your reverse osmosis filter, and this one also does UV lighting as well. Yeah, that gives me plenty. We're gonna cut that right there. Water is on. No leaks, that's good. Now the last thing I need to do is install the power supply. Get it plugged in. Why is there no power? All right, we have no power. I'm not exactly sure why, so I'm going to plug this in the power outlet above. Actually, you know what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make sure the garbage disposal is still working. If it is, then we'll see what our other problem might be. Well, of course, the disposal is wired to a switch, so that outlet that the disposal is plugged into is controlled by a switch. And if the switch is on, the disposal is on. So I have to come up with a plan B. But to test this out, while I'm coming up with a plan B, I'm just going to unplug the disposal and flip the switch on. I've got the filtration system installed. Everything's wired up. We're going to turn it on for the first time and see what happens. I can hear things happening. There is supposed to be a few second delay as it starts to run the water through your filters and push the air out of the system. All right, so the instructions say to let this run for 20 minutes to flush out the filters and everything. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll run it for 20 minutes. Put it right there. All right, 20 minutes. Okay, moment of truth. After all the plumbing adventures, it's time to test out the water. First, I'm gonna start with some good old tap water. Now, according to my city, this tap water is safe to drink and it's safer than most of the stuff you buy in the store, but we'll see. It does have a chlorine smell. They are shocking the water system right now. All right, tastes like water. You can definitely smell the chlorine in it though. See what this gets out. And I'm actually gonna rinse my glass out, so I make sure to get nothing but this goodness. Wow. There's no chlorine smell. That's impressive because up until the point that it gets underneath this sink, the water is coming from the same source. The only difference is it splits off in a T and one comes to here and one goes to the filter before it comes out here. Let's taste it. This filter's legit, y'all. That's clean. That's real clean. I gotta get another glass, hold on. Actually, you know what? That'll work. Smells like pool water. Nothing. That makes me happy. Good, clean, filtered drinking water. That's from the SimPure filter. And that thing filters out chlorine, debris, germs, you name it. It's got a UV filter in it. This thing's nice. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to fix the plumbing I broke and how to get it wired up correctly so that I can leave it under here and get it off of where I have it plugged in at. Anyway. That's huge. Seriously, this filter is amazing.